Welcome to the Milpark Education 2022 graduation ceremony. A graduation is a formal ceremony at which qualifications with all the associated rights and privileges are awarded to the candidates whose names appear in the graduation program. Graduation is one of the greatest and most significant milestones in an individual's life. It is a joyous acknowledgement and celebration of the achievements of those students who have successfully met the requirements for the completion of their qualification. The graduation ceremony is the culmination of the concerted and consistent efforts of two parties: the students who have endeavored and sacrificed in order to achieve their qualification, and our teaching and support staff who guided those students to this proud and significant moment in their lives. This year, more than 2,000 Milpark students will graduate around the country with qualifications in management, leadership, banking, investment, financial planning, insurance, accounting, and commerce. I'm extremely proud of all our graduates who have persevered with their studies to reach their goal of graduating today. So, for all of us at Milpark Education, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you and your family members to this year's graduation ceremony. We are also honored to welcome Sirami Ramosajana, the head of school for the School of Commerce, as our keynote speaker, as well as our guest speaker, Ziposi Sikakane, CEO of EMZ Advisory Group. On that note, please welcome our School of Commerce keynote speaker, Sirami Ramosajana.
Thank you, Program Director, Ms. Marilis Putter, the Executive Dean of Milpark Education, for affording me this platform and opportunity to address you today at this graduation ceremony. I would also like to thank you, the graduates, along with your friends and family members, for joining us online at this graduation event. It is indeed one of the highlights of your career, as you have now completed your qualification. You have demonstrated to the world that through hard work, dedication, resilience, and commitment, you achieved this very important academic milestone. Allow me to share a very brief story of a young boy who was born in Tlhabine, 20 kilometers from Zanen in Limpopo. At the age of 24, he got a job as a teacher in the village. At the same time, he worked part-time as a stock taker in one of the village clothing stores. Through his dedication and hard work, he was promoted together with his manager. The shop manager gave this young man some clothing to show his appreciation for the loyalty, honesty the young man had shown in the business. The young man would then sell these clothes in his township in Soweto. With the capital that he made from selling the clothing, he then had an idea to open his own clothing shop. But he was prohibited to do so by the government at the time due to the apartheid laws, which did not allow him to open a business concern. Being a resilient young man, he decided to rather sell fresh milk to his people in the neighborhood. Using bicycles to transport the milk, he employed young boys to make deliveries. The business grew rapidly, and he later expanded his business to include supermarkets, butcheries, car dealerships, and petrol stations. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this man managed to build one of the biggest malls in Gauteng, and in particular, the mall was built in a township where there was no interest or business opportunities for some investors. The man I'm talking about is the late Mr. Richard Maponya. He has been a great inspiration to many of us, even today. He was able to unlock his potential despite all the hardships and challenges he faced during his time. This also goes to show that by maintaining resilience, hard work, dedication, and commitment, we can dare to achieve and unlock our own potential for greatness. For most of you in attendance today, this journey has not been easy at all. There has been times when you felt like quitting your studies due to the challenges you could have faced. There may also be times when you thought you will not make it. There may also be times when you thought no one cares about me. But look at you today. You are here because you have made it and you have succeeded. We all have different goals and missions towards our next chapter in life. Whatever journey you decide to embark on, please remember that journey will not always be easy and straightforward. I urge all of us to remain steadfast, resilient, dedicated, and committed so that we can unlock our own potential for greatness. I celebrate you and I thank you.
Thank you, Sirami. We are also honored to welcome Gareth Olivier, the head of school for the School of Professional Accounting, as our second keynote speaker. On that note, please welcome our School for Professional Accounting, Gareth Olivier.
Good evening, graduates of the PGDA class of 2021. For most of you, you know my name is Gareth Olivier. I'm the head of the Department of Professional Accounting, and I'm so excited just to be with you and everyone who's gone through this journey with you this evening. In preparation for this evening, I've been just reflecting, I think, on just the journey that we've gone through as a community, and always reminded of how these things, and I've told this to you before, about how these things really do seem impossible until they're done. And it's what makes me so excited about this evening, is that we can really celebrate that it really is done. And this journey is hard. This is not something I need to convince you about. It's not something I need to convince the guys who've gone through the journey with you about. The nature of the work, the time, using time in the right way. These are things we've spoken about throughout the year. And I'm just so pleased that you guys have come through it. And not only on almost the obvious things that are hard, but also the things we speak about a lot, like the emotional aspects of the course. The fact that we go through this as a community, and when we do this together, it's doable because we do it together. And the nature of being able to work with those things means that things that are difficult and sometimes seem impossible are doable when we do them together. And I'm so proud of the journey that you guys have been on, the character that you've built, the healthy ways that you've dealt with all the challenging emotions that go with such a challenging year. And I'm so glad we have this opportunity to come together this evening just to really celebrate this success. In my experience, this is what life's about. It's about making a plan. A lot of you guys joined this program because your original plan, say from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't going to plan. This course is part of an alternative journey. But the fact that you've stood up, you've been tenacious, you've persevered, and you've gone through this thing means that you've adapted. And this is what I think characterizes certainly some of the best CAs I know, and not even CAs, just some of the best people I have. We're not characterized kind of by our intellectual ability or anything like that. We're really characterized by our ability to make a plan and adapt when things don't go according to plan A in the journey. And kind of in that light, I couldn't be prouder to be with you guys this evening, just to celebrate this success. Something I want to share with you briefly about is the thing, what I certainly know about my experience in the PGDA is that if you can pass the PGDA, you can do almost anything. And to that extent, I really want to challenge you and implore you to make your goals going forward in life bigger than you think. I think a lot of what limits us in our lives is thinking and dreaming too small. And the fact that you can demonstrate that you passed the PGDA, and I know you guys are going to go on to be amazingly successful CAs and more than that, just successful people in whatever you apply your mind to. But those people who are capable, who don't achieve what they might have hoped, are often those that don't think big enough or don't imagine their goals to be as big as they can, because I truly believe that if you can pass the PGDA, you can do almost anything. There was a very famous graphic designer by the name of Milton Glaser who spoke about designing your life. And one of the exercises he would have his students do every year was to write about what their life looked like in 10 years and in detail, kind of 5, 6, 10, 20 pages in detail about this wildly audacious, imaginative, ambitious life that they would imagine in 10 years. And he encouraged his students to be crazy about what their life looked like in 10 years because he knew that generally successful and capable people don't dream big enough. He encouraged his students to write about, in 10 years, what will they be doing? How will they be spending their time? Where will they live? Who will they be spending their time with? What they will have achieved? What will be important to them? And what he found is that the students who are the most ambitious and the most creative and the most wild and in these dreams and just thinking bigger than they could imagine, when they reflected on those writings 10 years from the time, many of the things they wrote about that they thought were just beyond their capability, they actually achieved. And I want to encourage you guys, as you think about your future and you sit at this crucial moment of realizing that you really can do almost anything you put your mind to, that you really imagine your future as huge, because passing the PGDA means that you can do almost anything, and your only limit in a lot of ways will be how you imagine it. And together with that, I'll also say that while you have new rights, I suppose we'll call them, as a result of passing the PGDA, and you're going to have new rights as you continue your journey to become CAs, I'll also say that you have new responsibilities. And therefore, when you think big, I think I would encourage you to realize that thinking big shouldn't be alone. Thinking big means also thinking about who you want to take with you, what you want your life to look like, realizing that this happens in a context and a supportive community, and you need important people around you. If you think about your success, if you think about your journey and what you've achieved to this point, I imagine you'll be able to pinpoint very specific people who contributed very specifically to the journey that you had, people who sponsored you, people who supported you emotionally, people who taught you, people who just allowed you to realize your potential. And when we do that thought exercise, we realize that no one's success happens in isolation. And therefore, when you think about your successful future, it can't be you alone. It can't be selfish. It needs to be part of a community. And I think that's the responsibility we have as we shape the future together. And likewise, you also, in terms of your new responsibilities, need to take on what you've received and pass it on to other people. There's going to be a lot of people who now look up to you and want to be like you. There's so many people, students who 1 step behind you, 2 steps behind you, 3 steps behind you, who are looking up to you because you are more than they can dare to imagine, and therefore they look up to you and they want to know how you did it. And you have a responsibility to those people to share your journey and to share how you were able to become more than you imagined. And I don't think this is a new thing, because I think the fact that you're sitting here means that you are here because you dared to imagine. If you thought about your goals 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, potentially you would have thought, wow, this journey to CA maybe seems too hard to be true, or maybe more than you thought you would be capable of. But because you dared to imagine, because you were ambitious enough to think that thought and to try to aim for something big, that is the way you are able to manifest your potential. And that's the reason why we need to be thinking big at just such an exciting juncture in our lives. Of course, to celebrate, but also to know that where we are means we can achieve whatever we can imagine. So I'm not going to speak for a long time, but I'm going to challenge you to dare to keep imagining, because this is how we're going to change the future. You guys are the future leaders of tomorrow. You are the ones who are going to shape the future. And the future is not something that's fixed. We can influence it. And the only limit to the future, I think, is how we imagine it. And that's why it's so critical that we dare to imagine it, and we imagine it really in a big way. So with that, I'll close off just by saying, of course, don't forget to celebrate. A huge part of why we're here this evening is just to celebrate. And please thank those who contributed to your journey. We do this thing as part of a community. Thank your parents, thank your friends, thank your colleagues. Everyone who contributed to your journey are crucial to what you've done. And I hope they're around you, and I hope you either have celebrated or will be celebrating with them. From a Milpark perspective, from my perspective, I'm so proud of you guys. I think together we're really putting Milpark and online education on the map and showing that this is an amazing way to become an excellent value-adding CA and a huge value adder to the community. And in that light, I'm so proud of what you guys represent, and just massive, massive strength of character. You guys have unbelievable stories. Probably my favorite part just about sharing these journeys with you is hearing your stories, hearing what you've come through, and that really is really things that are worth celebrating. So thank you. Well done. Please celebrate. Please keep in touch. We love hearing from you guys. And I just want to wish you all the best, and a huge congratulations.
Thank you, Gareth. Our guest speaker today is Ziposi. Zipo is a sought-after global speaker, thought leader, writer, business strategist, and CEO of EMZ Advisory, a management consulting firm dedicated to enhancing organizational effectiveness and productivity. Her insights on leadership, change, and organization culture have positively impacted multinationals operating in emerging markets. She has traveled to over 35 countries and worked in 6 continents. She also serves on several boards and has a Master of Business Administration from Stanford University in the United States, completed on a full merit scholarship. The 3 things that keeps Zipo's mind in check. Always begin with the end in mind. Define what success looks like. Passion is the driver. Your dreams deserve to exist outside of your mind. And be authentic in who you are and what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ziposi.
Greetings and congratulations on this very special day, your graduation day. You made it this far. Well done. I hope you take the efforts that you put in the last couple of years and you carry it through to the rest of your life, because it brought you the success that you needed. My name is Ziposi. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a business strategist. I'm an individual who's really passionate about helping businesses and individuals really unleash their growth potential. So I lead a firm of management consultants, facilitators, and trainers that are really focused on leadership, change, culture reform, and really positively affecting multinationals across the globe. By background, I'm from northern KwaZulu-Natal, so I grew up in a small township, and I come from impoverished circumstances, but I had the privilege of through hard work and determination, I had a full scholarship that gave me the opportunity to go move to Cape Town, study business, which was my passion. I've always wanted to be a businesswoman when I grew up. And thereon I moved on and I worked in different multinationals that had presence in different parts of sub-Saharan Africa in consulting and strategy. I was doing key roles there, and also had the opportunity to move to the United States, where I did my MBA at one of the leading programs, so Stanford Business School in California, which is just an amazing opportunity for me, and had the privilege also of being able to get a full scholarship for it. And a bit after that, I then moved and I actually went and worked for what is the world's biggest retail group. I was in an international director role, right? And I ended up working across 6 different continents. I traveled to about 37 different countries. And I love seeing the world. I think it's such a beautiful way to get to know yourself and just also get to know and appreciate others. So by the time I moved back to South Africa, I had this breadth of not only local but also global experiences that I use in my day-to-day art to really influence individuals, to really influence the business leaders and really the organizations, help them really unleash their true potential. And on this journey for me, I think one of the things that has been really key and has been really important is having that audacity, just that courage to break the barriers, irrespective of the circumstances that are around you. I mean, if there's a door, open it. If it's locked, find the key. If you can't find the key, you break it down, right? I'm a big believer that's how you unleash your potential, especially because an ever-evolving context is the only given. Things will constantly be changing around us environmentally, right? But what keeps you solid is doing the work that you need to do to stay truly authentic as an individual. And today I'm going to share with you, what are some of the things that have really helped me navigate some of the complexities that life presents, which I'm pretty sure we will all be going through as we go through different phases in life. If you look at the context of where we are in the world of in the world human history, I mean, in the last 2 years or so, I mean, it's been one of the most disruptive periods for a human being to be alive. I mean, we're making it through a global pandemic. I mean, 2020 disrupted us, right? In many ways. I mean, the ways we work, the ways we study, the ways we connect with our families and even our communities. I mean, we even lost lives. Some of us are still even recovering to this day. It was very difficult. And 2020 was about stabilizing and finding our feet beyond that. But the weight of what we carried from the period before was a difficult thing to go through. I mean, having to adjust to working in a hybrid environment, connecting virtually with those we love, restricted in our movements. Human beings don't do well with change. I mean, we struggle with change. The brain doesn't like it when we change the script. It's very difficult. So if anything, we are here, coming out of a period of chaos, and for some reason we've made it this far. But if you look forward, the future remains uncertain. It remains unclear. No one knows what's going to happen, but I can tell you this. Things will keep changing. There'll be some great highs, but there will also be some great lows. Those are the true certainties in life. And so when you think about what is the toolkit that I need to make it and to stay resilient as I look forward, one of the most important things is realizing the importance of purpose. How is it that I can wake up in the morning every single day? Even some of the most difficult days, some of the best days in my life. One thing directs me to my purpose. It's that thing that helps you get up in the morning, the thing that helps you keep pushing even in the most difficult times. Investing in understanding what that is, what does it look like, the shape thereof. I mean, the thing about purpose is it's an experience. It's not something that you can even create. It's what people experience when they're in your presence. It's what you do best without trying. It's when you start having an impact on yourself and others, and you start experiencing that joy and that contentment, because that's what comes when you start living in purpose. Now, one of my favorite frameworks on this, for those who are really keen to embark on their journey of more and more purpose alignment, is that it's a concept, it's called Ikigai. Emerges from the Japanese, and it starts from investing that time and effort in really finding out what is it that you love to do. I mean, if you didn't have to work, what do you enjoy doing, right? Try different things you like, things you don't like. Figure out what you enjoy. But then also do this, find out what it is that you're good at, right? What are some of the things that you really enjoy? Some of the things that it's really, really important to find a way to figure out, what is it that you're good at? Now, the combination of what you're good at and the combination of what you love to do, that's the intersection of where your passion comes to life, right? That's where those two meet. But then there's what the world needs from you, right? And if you intersect that with this also, you start seeing your mission. So what the world needs from you, what is it? How can you contribute to what the world needs now? And then the fourth pillar of all of this is what is it that you can be paid for, right? I mean, that's when you bring your profession and your vocation into the equation. You bring all of these things together. And there's that beautiful piece in the middle where you have a set of activities or things that you enjoy that cut across all of these metrics and these levers that I've spoken about. Now, once you've been able to identify that purpose, the work now is on you to realize that you are the leader that's going to make it happen. I've always believed in self-directed leadership, right? Going through that journey with yourself where you say, how can I lead myself effectively so that I can have the power to lead my life, my career, and then lead those around me, right? Because ultimately we interact with people every single day. That is an opportunity for you to touch somebody, to really have make a difference in their lives. One of the things that really touched me about my experience at Stanford Business School was that they had the motto, right? I mean, it spoke true to me at heart. It said, we are dedicated to changing lives, and thereby changing organizations, and thereby changing the world. And that whole journey is about investing the effort in your own self-awareness, right? And self-awareness means leading yourself. How do I know where do I shine? Where are my gaps? And also in a larger global context, right? Where do I fit in? And then leading others is really how do you be present for them? How do you actually hear and really create that opportunity for the energies to connect so that ultimately any action that's taken is a collaboration. And then of course there's a part about leading organizations. When you're taking yourself to a level of inspiration, how do you share a vision? How do you do direction so that you can actually ensure that you get to the outcomes that you need? So it's a whole journey, right? When you're thinking about how do you make it happen. And when you've started embarking on your journey as a leader, right, then there's this piece around how do you then unleash potential, right? In yourself, in others, or even in the broader global context. We all have potential in us, in many shapes, in many directions, in many sizes. We all have potential that lies within us. You have a story that made you who you are today. Those are the things that we rely on when we need our potential to actually come out. The thing about unleashing your potential is realizing, one, there is no right answer about this for me is when I bring out my potential. It's different for every individual, right? It comes in different phases, shapes, etc. Hence what I was saying earlier about exploring and trying different things. So when you're unleashing your potential, it's important that you be aware what is happening around you, what is going on, what are some of the things that could really influence you, where you are, some of the decisions that you make, and also help you even identify some opportunities that you wouldn't have even known are there. And then the second thing is about being willing, really being willing to do the work, right? Do the work that is really needed to see the impacts that you're trying to get to. And then the next part is proactivity. Now, I'm a big believer that, just go and do, right? Don't wait, don't overthink, just go and do and see what happens. I mean, if you put your hand up for something, it's an opportunity for you to learn things about you that you didn't even know. Try something new. If you fail, which is inevitable, by the way, guess what? You actually learned something. And through that learning, right? I mean, you end up with a lifetime of training from the school of life on different boot camps that exist to make us more effective as individuals. Now, you put that all together, it pushes you to a point where you need to realize that therefore determination is very critical. I mean, furious determination, relentless determination, irrespective of the circumstances. And I know this is hard sometimes, but the ones who succeed are the ones who keep trying. You only fail when you start giving up, right? And then the other thing is just persistency. So I believe you need to be persistent, you need to be consistent, you need to try over and over and over again. And you keep trying and you stay true to what you're focusing on, because the more you do that, the more you'll see results on the other side. And being relentless, right? Irrespective of the circumstances around you. And if we pause there and you say, but all of that requires a lot of effort. It does. It really does. I mean, it's the ones that work hard and make that choice and make that decision to really push and get to the other side that see the results. But self-care. We've had our wake-up call, right? I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. There is no superhuman, fallacy that we should be falling for at this stage in life. We need to take care of ourselves first before we can even be present for others. And so you need to practice that journey of self-awareness. What do I need to be okay? Who do I need to be okay? Who can I call, right? And also, where do you set your boundaries, right? Because you need to be able to draw the line as an individual and be able to say, you know what? This is where my limit is, and I have the confidence and the courage to express it, even in times where I don't feel like it's okay to say so. Then there's also the part around our health. We're not robots, right? We are not robots at all. We're actually human beings first. And being human beings, I mean, our mental health, it's so important to us, our physical health, right? Our spiritual well-being, so many different facets of being a human being. And we have different intelligence centers. I mean, we've got our mind, we've got our heart, we've got our gut. All those are areas of life that we preserve by using different levers to preserve them. And so what are you doing to make sure that yours stays healthy? Yours has that feed that it needs so that it can stay resilient. Because what we feed into our systems is what we get out. And it's not just about food. I mean, you are what you eat, but everything. I mean, the energy that you surround yourself with, the people that you allow to influence you, what you read, I mean, what you watch on television, how you speak to yourself. I mean, they say, what would happen if you treated yourself like you treated your best friend? Because that voice in our heads is sometimes the very thing that gets in the way for us as individuals. And then, of course, there's grace. Ultimately, there's grace. You need to give yourself grace. It's important to have compassion with yourself and really be kind to yourself, especially in the times that you need it the most. So I encourage all of you to take the message of grace. I am gracious with myself. I am gracious in how I let others treat me. Because if you embody grace as an individual, by just doing that alone, you inspire others to actually also interact with grace, even with you and with the rest of the world. I do believe what the world needs from all of us is to have grace. So what does grace mean to you? How do you embody grace? How do you express grace? Because when we are gracious, that's when we emanate our biggest light. That's when we shine from our best sides. That's when we have the biggest impact. And ultimately, life is too short to be spending our lives being unkind to others and not living our days bringing wholeness and growth to others. And so I hope you take the message from everything that I've said. I hope there's something that resonated with you, right? One thing, two things, three things. That one thing, take it and say, how do I bring this into my toolkit, my bag? As I think about my success in life and in my journey, I've put it in there. How do I now carry through? Because if you do that for yourself, you're actually giving something to all of us, because we need all of us to be those individuals that really inspire others to unleash their potential. So I wish you well on your journey, on your path ahead. And I really hope that you stay focused on purpose, you stay committed to success in different contexts, realizing that you are the leader. It starts with you, understanding what you need to do to unleash your potential, but bringing that self-care on the journey and on the path to success. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zipo, for your inspiring words. I will now confer in absentia the names of the graduates who have met the requirements for their certificates, diplomas and degrees in the order in which their names appear in the graduation program. Please look out for your name, which will appear on the screen underneath the qualification that you have achieved. We have now come to the presentation of the awards for Milpark Education's top achievers. Awards are presented to the top 3 performing students of any qualification that has 50 or more graduating students from around the country. This year, I have the pleasure of presenting awards to 12 of our graduates from the School of Commerce across 4 qualifications. Awards are going to graduates on the highest certificate in management, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Commerce degrees, and postgraduate diploma in accounting. The award winners for academic excellence per qualification are as follows. Highest certificate in management, Karen Benstedt, 3rd place Merit Award. Candice van Wyk, 2nd place Merit Award, and Laurel van der Bijl, 1st place Honours Award. The Bachelor of Business Administration Awards go to Katika Singh, 3rd place Merit Award. Yolandi Weppener, 2nd place Merit Award. And Daniel Scott Morrison, 1st place Honours Award. The Bachelor of Commerce Awards go to Arthur Wade van Zyl, 3rd place Merit Award. Anelda Grau, 2nd place Merit Award, and Shanaz Mustafa, 1st place Honours Award. Finally, the Postgraduate Diploma in Accounting Awards go to Georgina Kathleen Barker, 3rd place Merit Award. Kristen Tyler Puller, 2nd place Merit Award. And finally, the 1st place Honours Award goes to Sheria Moore van Driel.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'll make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. We'll fire away, 'cause today I won't let the ship sink in. We are bursting through the barricade and reaching for the sun. We are warriors. Yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharp words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'll make no apologies. This is me.
The best way to predict your future is to create it.
Be bold, be courageous, and be your best.
Go forth and set the world on fire.
gonna cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look at this, here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'll make no apologies. This is me. This is me. Look at this, here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'll make no apologies. This is me. This is me. When the sharp words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look at, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'll make no apologies. This is me. This is me.
This brings us to the end of the formal proceedings and the closing of the ceremony. It has been our great pleasure to welcome all our graduates today. I would like to say a special thank you to our guest speaker and keynote speaker for their encouraging words, and to all our graduates, a massive congratulations. By the powers vested in me, I dissolve this assembly of Milpark Education.
This qualification has definitely impacted my professional goals. I have more knowledge in the industry and company I work for. I'm able to understand the work that I do better, and I'm able to contribute constructively in all my teams.
Initially, I did not study for professional goals. I studied for personal enrichment. But during the course of my studies, I realized that the information gained helped me so much to understand the world of business a lot better.
Yes, completing my qualification was a big step for me. Being in the financial services industry, it's allowed me to assist clients on a very high professional level. The content covered is usually very relevant to real-life situations, and the skills I've acquired from such makes me confident and professional while dealing with my clients. My goal has always been to get the CFP designation, and this was a big step for me to achieve this. I also feel more empowered and understand that this will improve my chances to progress further in my career.
Firstly, yes, it definitely has. I think completing this qualification has both given me confidence in my abilities and created a lot of self-belief in what I can achieve personally. And then beyond that, it's obviously granted me with so much educational knowledge that I believe can equip me to have a greater impact on a business going forward in a higher managerial role than I currently have, due to the multiple skills and techniques and tactics that I've learned and gained through the process.
It's been a great stepping stone for moving forward in the industry, and I definitely intend to study further.
Okay, so how do I believe that this course has benefited my professional career? Has it helped me with the attainment of my goals? So everyone has goals. goals, but now through the course and through the experience and knowledge provided, it has given me the confidence to understand that those goals are now more attainable and more within reach than ever. This course has given me the confidence to be able to engage with people on different levels, possibly that maybe I wouldn't have done in the past, or maybe would have not had the confidence to do so in the past. I now engage or communicate on a more strategic and operational level. I now have a clearer understanding for the greater business environment at hand, not only from my internal organization, but from external organizations in the external space. But I can definitely say that I feel that I now have a clearer understanding and have more value for the intrinsic importance of people and the role people play in this process by being on this course.
So doing an MBA drastically changed my professional goals. It equipped me with the tools to be able to understand professional landscapes much better, and I was able to figure out what I would be best in and what I would enjoy.
I would say the highlight for me was the convenience of distance learning, together with the great support offered by the Milpark team and the engagement offered with my fellow learners. Another huge highlight for me was being able to land a big client with knowledge I had learned through my studies. Since then, I feel even more confident in my approach to solving complex problems.
The highlight of my academic journey has to be seeing all the results after all the assignments and exams and hard work that I put in, as well as being able to navigate it in my team better once I finished the module because I have all this new knowledge.
A highlight from my study career is definitely working with all my fellow students. The amount of information I've learned from them, along with the Milpark study guides and additional books, I'm so grateful. And being able to open my mind and think in a different way than I used to has only benefited me, and I couldn't be more happy that I've learned so much.
The highlight for me was realizing that not only is this doable while holding down a full-time job, but my results were indicating that I was also able to do it well, and this gave me the confidence to carry on.
A highlight on a humorous level would definitely be finishing the course. I wouldn't be human if I didn't say that. Being able to say I finished a course, being able to garner extra time for myself and my family were definitely a personal highlight. But from a business and a professional highlight, I can without a doubt say that the knowledge and experience and skill gained were without a doubt my professional highlights for the last year. On the back of COVID and being in an environment where both social and business interactions were limited and restricted, being able to be given the opportunity to engage with people, even though it was on a virtual platform, were also highlights in the last year. Being able to engage with people from different professions, different experience sets, different skill sets, different organizations, really enhanced the experience for me. I'm also a mom. I'm a mom to 5. I'm a wife. I have a full-time job. So I do, and I could without a doubt say that I understand having to always have a few balls up in the air at any one point in time. But putting something like this into my space, an extra responsibility in terms of studying and enhancing myself and promoting myself, I can definitely say that this process has given me the understanding and the belief that anything impossible can be made possible with hard work.
There's so many highlights during the 3.5 years of studying. I think, first and foremost is meeting some really great people along the way and making some good friends. And then I think secondly is obviously, obtaining that degree. It's something that, you set out to do. And when you get to the end of it, it's something to be really proud of. And I think thirdly is obviously, reaching the goals of achieving, certain percentages or whatever it may be. And it's something that I'm really proud of. And I think, everyone else should be proud of too.
All of the incredible people that I got to meet and had the privilege of working with.
I would say that the highlight of the academic year was the support from our lecturers, and especially the support of our fellow students. All of us are in the same team, chasing the same dream, and here we are, winning the same prize. Every lesson, every test, every query and question answered is the reason we can graduate today. A big thanks to our lecturers and to Milpark.
Working out makes me feel good, so I de-stress at gym. I realized very quickly that by taking care of my body and mind, it led to me being more relaxed, which actually increased my performance at work and my studies. I also believe that having the discipline and consistency at gym, that carried over into my studying, and it made me more effective. I understand that stress is normal and part of everyday life, but it is up to us to find an equalizer and something to balance out that. For me, this was the gym.
It's so important to de-stress while studying. Find those triggers that are going to re-energize you. For me, it was going for a walk, taking a drive down to the beach with the family and the dogs, watching a movie. That way you'll create balance between your study, your work and your family commitments.
So what I did to relax, I would go to the garden, I would chill, watch movies, basically anything that made me get out of my room, I would go do that.
To de-stress, I gymmed and I walked on the beach a lot.
I tried to get outdoors as much as possible to exercise, and I also spent some quality time with the family.
Well, the dogs really enjoyed that I was doing my MBA because as a de-stressor, I used to take them to the park for a run.
Firstly, I think just it was important to see family and friends who were in no way associated with my studies, because that just resulted in the conversations that we had and the time we spent together being nothing to do with my work, where I could just completely relax and switch off. And I think another thing that allowed me to do this was going on lots of hikes and just being in nature, being in a place again that just completely allows you to switch off and put your studies out.
I would say, don't put off until tomorrow what can be done today. As once a day is wasted, we will never be able to get that time back. Work should always come before pleasure, and ensure that you manage your time effectively. I believe life is all about choices, and day one every learner starts the same, and it's the choices that we make thereafter that dictates how successful our studies are.
My advice to you is just do it. If you consider today our careers are probably averaging 40 to 50 years, it's important to ensure that we are relevant and future fit. Embrace lifelong learning. Find the opportunities to upskill, reskill, just do it.
The advice I would give someone who's considering studying in the near future is to actually do it. Because once it's done and you put your hard work in, that feeling is rewarding. And you gain so much from a personal and emotional level through learning.
The way the tests and assignments were set out really guided the study process and steered the learnings. All instructions were clear, material was on hand, and support was there. Study, you won't regret it.
My advice would be to try and stick to the study plans given at the beginning of the course, and also to make use of the online forums. I found that these were a great tool for connecting with other students.
I think it is very important to set goals, both in your personal life and professional life. I don't think one grows or has any drive if you don't know what you're working towards. So that is the first step in actually becoming a better version of yourself, is setting those goals, knowing what you're working towards, and then doing everything in your power to get to those goals. And once you do, the accomplishment feels amazing.
Lots of advice I could give a person, but the first thing, and for me what was important, was getting my mindset straight. Entering this course or embarking on this journey, I didn't understand the level of work and effort it would take. So my process was a continual process of ensuring my mindset was right. I needed to wrestle with myself, and I needed to make sure that my mindset was always right. So if there's any advice I can give you, is to make sure that your mindset is right from the get-go. A support structure is also very, very important. Whether that be a family member or a friend, whatever is important to you, having somebody there to assist you and help you, because this course takes a lot of hours and a lot of hard work. And that person's going to need to be there to pick up the pieces for you and take on the responsibility that you would have normally taken, giving you the freedom to be able to give your all and your 100% to this course. Ensuring that your timelines are consistent, your efforts are consistent, that you have a valid timeline and there's a momentum in terms of the effort and the pace you're putting into this course throughout the year are very, very important. Identifying a mentor is something else which helped me. Somebody that you could bounce ideas off of, guide you in the right direction, and make sure that you were always on track. But with that said, there's also got to be an element of always making sure that you take time to breathe, making sure that you still take time to be yourself and don't get yourself overwhelmed and consumed through the process, but at the same time understand the importance of it.
I think time management is so important. I think, if you are looking to study, that's something that you need to take into account. I think, it's also important to set up a routine and be comfortable in that routine. And I think thirdly, set goals. I think that's really important, and it gives you something to work towards.
The advice I would give to someone who is considering studying the near future is the following. Actor Denzel Washington gave a commencement speech on May 16, 2011 at the University of Pennsylvania. The script is called Fall Forward, and he said the following. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. So the advice I would give today is to not be afraid of failure. Failure teaches more lessons than success ever will.
I would say just do it.
Milpark Education is a registered higher education provider of business qualifications, offering online and distance learning ways to study. For over 20 years, we have been supporting Milpark students in their quest to achieve their education goals, ensuring that we provide a learning environment of high responsiveness, interaction, and quality. We offer multiple qualifications within our 5 schools, these schools being the Business School, the School of Commerce, the School of Investment and Banking, the School of Financial Planning and Insurance, and the School of Professional Accounting, known as CA Connect. We can help you by equipping you with the knowledge and skills to lead in a changed world, guiding you towards achieving your career goals, and by offering you flexibility and more involvement in the way you learn. We know that everyone is unique and each educational journey is too. That's why we allow you to choose from high quality and accessible distance or online learning solutions, empower you to draw up your own program choices that fit in with your life, offer you payment and timetable options to suit your personal needs. With the right education partner, anything is possible. Let our expert academics and experienced support teams show you how to achieve the success you dream of. Milpark Education. We partner with you on your learning journey.